Honor Society and the Greek Council are proud to present the 2020-21 Emory and Henry College Homecoming Court. The members of the court were voted on by their peers and represent numerous organizations on campus. The first members of the court are Adam Carrico and Haley Fry. Adam is the Kappa Phi Alpha Special K. Haley Fry is also representing Pi Delta Chi. Haley is a senior exercise science major from Saltville, Virginia. Along with being the Pi Delta Chi sweetheart, Haley is a member of the Pre-Health Club and a sister of Kappa Phi Alpha. Adam Carrico and Haley Fry. The next members of the court are Hayden Milley and Lauren Boyda. Hayden is representing Sigma Iota. Hayden is a senior health and human performance major from Clover, South Carolina. In addition to being a brother of Sigma Iota, Hayden is a co-captain of the baseball team and a member of the Strength and Conditioning Club. Sierra Spriggs is standing in for Lauren Boyda tonight. Lauren is representing Alpha Beta Chi. Lauren is a senior doubling in business management and political science from Abingdon, Virginia. Along with being a sister of Alpha Beta Chi, Lauren serves on the Greek Council and the Greek Council Judicial Board. Hayden Milley and Lauren Boyda. Next on the homecoming court are Jordan Smith and Maggie Crutchfield. Jordan is representing Sigma Iota. Jordan is a senior accounting major from Bassett, Virginia. In addition to being a brother of Sigma Iota, Jordan is a member of the baseball team. Maggie Crutchfield is representing Kappa Phi Alpha. Maggie is a senior biology major from Rocky Mount, Virginia. Along with being a sister of Kappa Phi Alpha, Maggie is a member of the Beta 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 Biological Honor Society, Gamma Sigma Alpha Honor Society, and has served as the president of Kappa Phi Alpha, the Blue Key Honor Society, and is the current Greek Council president. Jordan Smith and Maggie Crutchfield. The next members of the court are Hunter Watson and Allison Cochran. Hunter is representing Beta Lambda Zeta. Hunter is a senior, double majoring in business and sport management from Jonesville, Virginia. Along with being a brother of Beta Lambda Zeta, Hunter is the Kappa Phi Alpha Special K. Allison is representing the Phi Eta Sigma Honor Society. Allison is a senior psychology and sociology double major from Pennington Gap, Virginia. Along with being a member of Phi Eta Sigma, Allison is a sister of Kappa Phi Alpha. Hunter Watson and Allison Cochran. Next on the court are Chase Polson and Mia Altizer. Chase Polson is representing Beta Lambda Zeta. Chase is a senior biology major from Roanoke, Virginia. Chase is the Delta Omicron Pi sweetheart and is also a member of the ASL Club, the American Chemical Society, vice president of the Beta 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 Biological Honor Society, vice president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, vice president of the Gamma Sigma Alpha Honor Society, serves on the Greek Council Judicial Board, and is the captain of the men's soccer team. Mia Altizer is representing Pi Delta Chi. Mia is a senior sociology, crime, and society major from Abingdon, Virginia. Along with being the Pi Delta Chi sweetheart, Mia is a sister of Alpha Beta Chi and a member of the Sociology Club. Chase Polson and Mia Altizer. The next members of the court are Joe Talone and Macy Clark. Joe is representing the baseball team. He is a senior physics major from Charlotte, North Carolina. Joe is also a co-captain of the baseball team. Macy Clark is representing the Blue Key Honor Society. Macy is a senior interdisciplinary history major from Abingdon, Virginia. Along with being a member of Blue Key Honor Society, Macy is the president of Kappa Phi Alpha, the orientation chair, and serves on the Greek Council and Greek Council Judicial Board. Joe Talone and Macy Clark. Next on the court are David Hopkins and Elizabeth Jones. David is representing Pi Sigma Kappa as their sweetheart. David is a senior acting major from Roanoke, Virginia. In addition to serving as the treasurer of the Theta Chi Epsilon fraternity, David is also the vice president of Alpha Psi Omega, a member of the choir, the Blue and Gold Honor Society, and is the Pi Sigma Kappa sweetheart. Elizabeth Jones is representing Delta Omicron Pi. Elizabeth is a senior exercise science major from Wytheville, Virginia. Along with being a sister of Delta Omicron Pi, Elizabeth is a member of Blue Key Honor Society and the women's basketball team. David Hopkins and Elizabeth Jones. The final members of our homecoming court are Micah Griffin and Tierney Zisk. Micah is representing Theta Chi Epsilon. Micah is a history and French double major from Danville, Virginia. Along with being a brother of Theta Chi Epsilon, Micah is a member of the rugby team, Campus Christian Fellowship, the Honors Program, and is the Delta Rho Delta sweetheart. Tierney is representing Delta Rho Delta. Tierney is a senior health and human performance major from Newcastle, Virginia. In addition to being a member of Delta Rho Delta, Tierney is a member of Gamma Sigma Alpha, Campus Christian Fellowship, Interfaith Student Union, the Emory and Henry Athletics Intern, the Emory United Methodist Church Work Study, a mass communication supplemental instructor, serves on the Greek Council Executive Board, and sings in the Emory United Methodist Church Choir. Micah Griffin and Tierney Zisk. Congratulations to all of our members of the 2020-21 Homecoming Court.
Keep going deeper, way deeper, like get to the sideline. There you go.
And now it's time to announce our runners-up for King and Queen. The second runner-up for Homecoming King is David Hopkins. The second runner-up for Homecoming Queen is Tierney Zisk. The first runner-up for Homecoming King is Chase Polson. The first runner-up for Homecoming Queen is Macy Clark. Your 2020-21 Homecoming King is Micah Griffin. Your 2020-21 Homecoming Queen is Elizabeth Jones.
Get out of my way. Dude, move. Okay, I guess I gotta stand together.
Yeah, that's fine. Stay with both of them.
Yep, stand here. Oh, yeah, he is a little. Cool. I lost your stash. Hey man, drop some.
But me.
We're gonna have to get you a tighter belt there, fella. Don't drop it. This is good.
Congratulations again to all the members of the 2020-21 Homecoming Court.
Welcome to the Bob Johnson Court for men's basketball action on the campus of Emory and Henry College, as tonight's contest against the visiting Owls of Warren Wilson College taking on the homestanding Emory and Henry Wasps. We will pause for a moment for the national anthem as we await the starting lineups. All right, men's basketball from Emory and Henry entering into what I call the Tuesday night, their bonus season. We'll have the starters for the visiting Owls of Warren Wilson. Well, let me back up a second. I'm Joy Scruggs here with Ann Crutchfield, and we'll bring you the starting lineups. Ann, you want to give us the starters for the visiting Owls?
Sure. Starting at 1, a 6'2 freshman from Forest City, North Carolina, Tyler Whiteside. Starting at guard, a 5'8 freshman from Seneca, South Carolina, number 4, Deshaun Goodine. Starting at center, a 6'5 sophomore from Asheville, North Carolina, Sean Austin. A 6'4 sophomore, Tariq Kaiser, number 12 from Rollsville, North Carolina, will be starting at forward. And then to round out the 5, a 6'5 sophomore from Valdez, North Carolina, number 15, Jerry Day. The Owls are coached by Dominic Boone. This is his second season, and assisted by Jacob Senyo.
Now for the Wasps, coached by Ben Thompson in his second season, assisted by Matt Spencer and Rick Thompson. Emory and Henry wearing their yellow uniforms with blue numbers. Starting at guard, a 6'5 junior from Kingsport, Tennessee, a transfer from Walters State Community College. Number 1, Tyler Arnold. A 5'11 freshman guard from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, number 5, Patrick Antonelli. A 6'2 junior guard from Simpsonville, South Carolina, number 11, Micah Banks. A 6'5 senior guard from Kansas City, Kansas, a transfer from SUNY Canton, number 25, Robert Holliday. And rounding out the Emory and Henry lineup, a 6'8 sophomore from Chilhowie, Virginia, number 42, Dylan Catron.
You know, it should be an interesting lineup here. These two teams faced off just 48 hours ago. And so if you're going back and you're working on your game plan, Coach, what are you going to change up if you are Warren Wilson?
Well, I asked Coach that question. Let's see if I can find it here in my notes. He said he's known this coach for quite some day. I've known Coach Boone for a long time. We go back almost 20 years. He will have some wrinkle up his sleeve for us. I think that we'll see more zone from the onset, and I also think we'll be able to handle the pressure really well, and that frustrated them when they weren't able to speed us up. Remember when they went to that zone at full court pressure, and we were just very deliberate with that.
Right, in the last game, Warren Wilson had some success spreading the Wasp out by playing a 5 out on the offensive end, so it'll be interesting to see what adjustments Emory and Henry makes.
And the tap's up, and it's controlled by the Owls. We typically are also brought to you on WEHC radio at the same time, but tonight it's only a live stream as Jerry Day sinks that little floater, and we saw him do that time after time after time in game one. And it does look like the Owls are playing a zone here, 2-3 zone action. Emory and Henry able to get it inside to the high post. That's a favorite way of mine to attack a zone. Kick it out, and Antonelli answers the 2-point basket by Day. Emory and Henry starting out in man-to-man here.
You know, Tyler Arnold's matched up on Jerry Day there. Jerry had a big game the last time we played.
Well, I looked up some stats about Jerry from last year, and he averaged about 15 some odd points a game last year, and that seems to be where he is in these this is their third game. The Owls weren't allowed to begin play until March. It's one reason why Coach Thompson was able to pick up the extra game with them. Yeah, I love attacking a zone front using the high post. Get the zone to sag in there and then kick it out, as we just did, moving around the perimeter. The three-point shot by Catron's no good. Oh, I thought he walked. But that's Goodine, isn't it? Is that who that was?
Number 4,
yeah,
Goodine.
Goodine makes that as Emory and Henry now trails by 2. The Owls are coming in energized on defense. Again, using that high post ball to Robert Holliday Jr. He's our leading scorer and rebounder and did not play in game 1 on Tuesday night.
Incredible hustle by Micah Banks there.
What are they calling there? That was it's
a foul.
Great cut and read by Arnold to get him the ball. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Emory and Henry will have it underneath their basket, again facing a 2-3 zone. Arnold's shot's too long, but Holliday Jr.'s there to clean it up.
Looks like Holliday's a little slow getting up there. You know, I had an opportunity today to talk with Micah Banks. I just happened to be walking through the hall in the King Center, and he was in here all alone getting up some extra shots, and I had an opportunity to talk with him. I mean, what a super nice young man, and I just love the way he plays with the intensity.
There's the flex again, yeah. Left over from the 80s. Day comes up too long on that one. But rebound by Kaiser. And it gets batted out of bounds by the Wasps.
Yeah, flex offense may be from the 80s, but it's still kind of effective, Coach.
Well, you know, I never could teach it enough for it to be effective, and I never could defend it well enough to stop it. So it was a frustration for me. We ran the swing at one point. Deflected out of bounds by Antonelli, which to me was the upside down flex.
Okay, Emory and Henry's in the zone now.
Having to shoot over Catron. That shot comes up way short. We're knotted up here at 4 with 17-17 remaining in the first half. Emory and Henry with good ball movement and using that triangle with a cutter inside, working low block to high post. And Arnold connects for 3, giving Emory and Henry the 3-point lead.
I tell you, that's a big shot for Arnold. He can be really streaky, so when he hits that first shot, the rim just gets bigger and bigger all night for him.
He hit his first 2 the other night, didn't he? As I recall, and then we probably jinxed him by talking about how good that was. Yeah, Arnold had 20 points the other night in the first matchup with the Owls. Emory and Henry in the zone, half-court off defense. Owls working the ball around the perimeter. The pull-up jumper is too long, and Antonelli's there and draws the foul. He grabs the rebound, draws the foul. Antonelli had a double-double the other night with 10 points and 11 rebounds. He also hauled in 11 assists and hauled in 5 rebounds and 2 steals. A solid night for. We had 5 players in double figures on Tuesday night, and again we played without Robert Holiday Jr., who averages a double-double. Using that high post, they're making me happy. Antonelli in the corner. Dribbles it out and it goes back, gives it down low to Ketron, makes a move. Floater no good. Long rebound. Arnold gets called for the walk. You can't tell by the score from Tuesday night's game because Emory and Henry won 96-77, but it was a tight contest. At least, 3/4 of the way through. 3/4 of the way through the first half, Emory and Henry led by 12 at halftime, but Warren Wilson led by as much as 8 in the first half action. Antonelli gets the deflection and comes away with the steal.
Looking back at the game 2 nights ago, you were talking about how close the game was. It wasn't until Malcolm Morgan got aggressive on the defensive end that really changed the whole outcome of that game.
And there's Morgan getting aggressive on the offensive end and drawing the foul.
So Morgan will be shooting 1.
And that's 3 fouls on the Owls, team fouls in this half. We're not even 3/4 of the way through it. Offensive rebound for the Wasps for second chance opportunities. Back screen, ball screen, then out on the face up for Ketron, and he hits it. Emory and Henry now 11-4, 7-point lead. Emory and Henry back to man. This is where the Owls spread us out Tuesday night. Just sent cutters through and tried to beat us off the dribble, which they were pretty effective with for quite some time, weren't they, Coach?
They really were.
I thought it was going to be a challenging night for the Wasps.
So coming in the game now for Emory and Henry is going to be a substitution, Kevin Rodriguez. Talking about a big game the other night, Kevin Rodriguez had a huge game. He's coming off. He led all players with 27 points and 8 rebounds and 2 block shots. That's a pretty good day at the office.
Let me remind you, even though if you're in the sound of my voice, you're streaming this and not listening on WEHC. But we can't say enough about WEHC 90.7 College and Community Station. Over the years, WEHC's kept fans like us in the action for Emory and Henry sports. But in times like these, when for indoor sports we're not allowed to have any spectators and there are limited spectators allowed in the stands for outdoor sporting events, being able to get the live action to our fans through WEHC is more important now than ever. So please show your support for WEHC by making a gift to the station. They're having their spring fundraiser right now. You can call them at 276-582-0907, or probably easier, go to WEHCFM.com and look for the Make a Gift section. Thank you for supporting WEHC. Arnold gets another opportunity wide open from the corner. Let's hope he streaks on. The streak stays on. He's 2 for 2 now. Or maybe not. I say that before I should be confident about that.
Arnold was a little slow picking up his man in transition. Banks stepped over to help him and then left the ball. I know it used to drive me crazy as a coach. Someone would leave the ball to go find their man in transition.
Yeah, Arnold's 2 of 3. Well, the best time to run back in transition on defense is after you've scored. That's when you really have the energy to play defense. So you should be back there. So DeMarco Jackson at the free throw line for the Owls. He's an 80% free throw shooter, 12 of 15.
Malcolm Morgan returns to the game, and then Corey Keene, a 6'6 freshman from Grundy, Virginia, who, to be a first-year player, I've been really impressed with.
Yeah, we've enjoyed watching him play throughout the course of the season. And Jackson hits the second as well. Emory and Henry's lead now is trimmed to 8, 14-6. Again, using that high post, of course, the Owls have switched to man-to-man. Keaton tries to get it inside, now skips it out. And 3 on the way, and good.
Rodriguez picks up
by
where he
Rodriguez.
left off. Yeah, in the corner.
Emory and Henry staying active on defense, but the Owls are able to get it inside.
So that foul is going to be on Patrick Antonelli. That's going to be his first. Team foul number 2 for the Wasps.
It's so quiet in here. There's no cheerleaders here tonight. It's so quiet. You can hear the officials talking to each other. You'd never hear that. They were just trying to decide, are we going to have a media timeout? Yeah, sure, let's have a media timeout.
I know it reminds you back in the days of a scrimmage, you know, when you would close the doors and it would just be the teams and the officials.
Well, and the coaches this year are dressing in more comfortable gear, too, like a scrimmage. That was always my favorite outfit of the season, was getting to wear something comfortable to the scrimmage.
So, you know, looking at the Wasp this year is a very challenging year. They had to suspend action for a couple of times throughout the season. They faced injuries. One of their more experienced players, Jordan Grant, was out for the season with an injury. But I think the win the other night was exactly what they needed. You know, they moved the ball so much better in the game on Tuesday night. You could just see their confidence continue to grow, and they look like they're a different team tonight than we've seen in some of the games past.
Well, I asked Coach Thompson, I said, winning is better than losing, isn't it? I said, what was the locker room like after the game? And he said, yes, it is. And the guys were excited, but not over the moon. I think they understood that we have more work to do and still a game left to play this season. We'll work on our deficiencies from yesterday and practice today and hopefully be more efficient tomorrow. This was yesterday when he was making these comments. But I would definitely rather learn from a win than from a loss. Shots up and good by Jackson. You know, I asked Coach Dickens some questions one time this season prior to their next contest, and she said, I wish you had, something about the progress they'd made in the season. She said, I wish you'd asked me that after a win instead of a loss. Emory and Henry with great movement there of the ball and of themselves. 15 on the shot clock.
Morgan's able to draw the foul. That foul is going to be on number 21, Turner Bailey.
That's 5 team fouls for the Owls.
Warren Wilson back in the zone.
Shots up and good, and up and no good for Arnold, but Emory and Henry comes away with a rebound. Antonelli gets it inside, gives it up to Keene. Keene's floater bounces all around the rim and drops. Now Emory and Henry's lead is 10. Oh, golly, Arnold had a look at getting that steal. Comes up short for Davis. Off to the races, and Grau Rodriguez gets the finish with the assist from Arnold.
So again, there's Warren Wilson spreading out the Wasp.
And Emory and Henry battles for it. Possession error favors the Wasps.
That's going to be the 5th turnover already for Warren Wilson. You know, as we reset here, it's a good time to talk about number 5, Patrick Antonelli. This young man's a true point guard. He has the ability to process information very quickly. Like you said, he had 11 assists the other night. He knows who to get the ball to, and I tell you, that's a sign of a good point guard, and that's something you can really build around as a coach.
Yeah, we've mentioned it before this season, but he led the state of South Carolina last year in high school with assists. Oh, yeah, knocked down by Grau Rodriguez. 24-9, Emory and Henry spreads it out here for an early lead.
That's the 4-3 already by Emory and Henry.
Yeah, we were 13 of 30 the other night from 3. That's not been the typical for us throughout the course of this season.
Arnold gets that block.
Some of that came from against the zone where Emory and Henry, like they're doing tonight, got the ball inside and then kicked it out. Just like that, get the ball inside, pitch it out. To me, that's a favorite way to get a 3. Rodriguez again. This time it's reined in by the Owls. There's Jerry Day. He was quite impressive the other night. Oh, and Emory and Henry takes it away on the spin move. And Arnold gets it to finish.
We got a timeout by Warren Wilson.
And Emory and Henry with a 17-point lead.
Coach Thompson not happy with his team, even with a 17-point lead right now. You know, so far, Emory and Henry's done a nice job on the defensive end against Jerry Day. He had a big game the other night, and so far, he's only scored 2 points in this game and 1 rebound.
Emory and Henry shooting, as you said, made 4 3-pointers. We're 4 of 8. We're 11 of 17 from the floor, with 7 assists on those 11 made field goals. The Owls, on the other hand, have 0 assists on their 3 made field goals. And Emory and Henry has scored 13 points off of their 6 turnovers. I don't expect the Owls to go quietly into that good night. Do you?
No,
Here they're
I
running
don't.
the flex again. And that one floats in for Davis, averaging 10 points a game in their 2-game season so far this year. Uh-oh. Rodriguez gets his shot blocked, battles for the rebound, but it's going to be off Emory and Henry. We're just a little bit late delivering that pass. He called for it.
Yeah, it's one of those, seemed like a good idea at the time.
Again, the Owls spreading the floor, and then they get into their flex action here. That's just a cross screen around the baseline and a down screen from the top. There goes Day. He made a lot of those on Tuesday night. Nice give out to Arnold. His shot's too long, though.
Good
Keen's
rebound.
there. Yeah, Keen, nice and strong on the glass. Oh my gosh, you see the hook down there? Yeah, when I could see, the guy at the low post had his arm all the way around. He was hooking as he was posting up. He had his arm all the way around Morgan, and his arm against our yellow uniforms, our gold uniforms, just stood out like a beacon. Mm-hmm. But the official, that's the thing about the hook, the official on the ball side typically can't see it. They can only notice that your arm's not visible. But the official on the far side was able to see that and called it.
Now got a little screen-to-screener action going on over there, the 1-4 set.
Not enough movement to suit Coach Thompson. Now Morgan with the three, and that'll make Emory and Henry's 5th three of the game. Ooh. Nice drive inside and dump, and the Owls can't get it to finish. The Owls just shooting in the low 30%.
So that foul's going to be on Tyler Whiteside.
And now we're shooting for the remaining 9 minutes of the first half. So Emory and Henry shooting better from three than the Owls are shooting from anywhere. At 50% for Emory and Henry, and the Owls at just 33% from the floor. Banks knocks down his first opportunity. He's a 58% free throw shooter. He's good on both of these, though. Robert Holiday Jr. gets to the free throw line more than anybody for the Wasps, but Banks is second.
Antonelli back in the game for number 1, Tyler Arnold. A little smaller lineup for Coach Thompson right now.
I don't know. I was watching what was going on this side of the court.
It was out on Malcolm Morgan there, number 4.
So Emory and Henry switched to a zone here on the sideline out of bounds play. Coach Thompson, I was asking him about when they made their run from being down to spreading it to a 12-point advantage at halftime. That's one of the things he pointed out. You know, you and I had talked about it during the broadcast, that they switched defense. Their defensive intensity picked up, and that was one of the huge differences, and he did that. They went to a 1-3-1 on the sideline out of bounds, and then they switched back to man, and then they switched again, and it just threw off the rhythm of Warren Wilson. And as we had said, you know, were spreading the floor and or doing this flex action thing and having great success going one-on-one, and it just threw them off and gave us an opportunity with some turnovers to gain some possessions, and we took control of the game from that point on.
That's going to be a foul on number 11, Micah Banks. You know, it's so important that particularly young players recognize that how important it is to play hard on the defensive end. You know, it's not flashy like scoring baskets, but it leads to easy baskets, and it just makes all the difference in the world.
It was my favorite thing really about playing, because it gave you the opportunity for transition offense for one thing, and I played with a couple of the speediest, you know, people ever. So if you could get a deflection, it was off to the races.
That's got to be an offensive foul, I would think, on number 5, displacing the defender there.
And that's Sean Austin with the little baby hook there. Rodriguez gets it off the rim, but it won't fall, and Emory and Henry's Keene battles for the rebound. He comes away with it, and it gets it stripped away as he tries to go up with it. There's a lot of contact in there.
Yeah,
Antonelli.
Rodriguez forced that shot down on the offensive
Antonelli
end.
got past him. I forget what game I was watching the other day, but I was standing in front of the television begging someone to please move your feet and take a charge. Nice attack of the rim by Banks. 37-15. I guess you can see the score on your device. Day's going to get started here.
Yeah, that little stop and pop is his go-to.
He can elevate and then just fall back enough and gets it high enough that it's difficult to defend. Short corner for the Wasps. Gets deflected out of bounds. 11 on the shot clock for Emory and Henry.
We have another timeout.
Yeah, Day's just now getting started. He's 2 of 4 for 4 points, but I would expect to see much more from him coming forward.
You know, the difference in this game right now, Emory and Henry capitalizing on the miscues by Warren Wilson. At this point in the game, Warren Wilson has 8 turnovers, and that's led to 18 points for Emory and Henry off of transition.
Well, I asked Coach about, it must be a pretty easy prep for a game that's less than 48 hours from the last time you played the opponent. And I said, what kind of things do you see in the game that he saw on Tuesday night's game that help him get ready for Thursdays? And he said getting the play calls always helps. After you've played somebody live, you have a better idea what their play calls are. And it's also a benefit when you can be really detailed. He said we'll have to be better about keeping the ball out of the middle, out of the paint, which is, as we've said, that's kind of what they did. They just drove it in there for the longest time. And about blocking out, I think that's one of the rebounding effort, what I believe was what he was getting a little volume about in the timeout prior to this one.
So we're back to play here, and when you look at the players that Coach has on the floor right now, the senior citizen of the group is number 11, Micah Banks, and he's just a junior.
If we can move the ball quickly enough out of that short corner trap they run from the zone, we'll get some opportunities like that one for an open look. That was good ball movement for the Wasp, and several people passed up a good shot for a better shot. Down low for Day.
Good double down by Antonelli there.
Yeah, we had some success with that defensively as well, doubling down on people when they got it inside and stripping it away or causing some confusion. Oh, man, opportunistic rebound for Keene. And even though he brought the ball down a little too low, maybe he battles so strong in there, he's going to draw the foul.
Now, that's what's impressed me about this young man all season long.
Did you see Antonelli just then? I think he was doing the same. I think he was telling Keene, I think he was telling the same thing we were talking about. Keep the ball up and go up.
That's a point guard for you.
Yeah, there you go.
As I was saying about Keene, I think that's what's impressed me about him so much over the course of this year. He hasn't always been able to finish around the rim, but he's in the mix, and he works hard on the boards.
Well, as former coaches, we'll tell you how much effort means to you. I'm not saying I don't enjoy a player with exceptional skills, but effort will do a lot, won't it?
Yeah, well,
that gets deflected away. How many turnovers is that now for Warren Wilson?
That should be their ninth for the game, right?
And we'll be shooting, as we said already. Now, are we going to double bonus now?
I think we've got one more.
Okay, one more. I didn't know if they'd put it up yet or not. I've gotten so much that I so much enjoy the women's change of rules to quarters and resetting the fouls at the end of every quarter and all that I almost feel like the men's game is archaic.
Let's get one set of rules.
Really? I know we can't get every country in the world to agree. We're going to have different stuff for international and whatever, but how about in America we could agree?
Well, I just think, the quarters, resetting the fouls, the ability to advance the ball at the end of the game, it just makes it more exciting, I think.
It is fun. Yeah, I was glad I never had to make those decisions. It came in after my stead, but nonetheless. Antonelli comes up dry from the free throw line.
That's good defensive stop.
That's probably the area where Antonelli needs to work in the off season. He's a 50-something% free throw shooter. There goes Day. Yep, it's so high, and he falls back. There's almost no defense, and yet Emory and Henry still leads by 21. There's Arnold.
Nice board.
Oh, yeah, and Catron's there for the tip back.
Another timeout by Coach Thompson here.
Well, from season to season, players have to adjust to different roles. And Dylan last year played more minutes, I would say, without looking, than he is this year. But I've been really impressed with how he has played whatever role he gets. You know, he's played it. And that's, to me, that's, I talked about it, coaches want effort. But coaches also want that. You want somebody who's going to play and play hard and do what opportunities they have and make the most of them.
And we talked about in a game earlier this season how much work he put in on the off season,
Right?
And especially late summer and fall. Once we could get back in the gym a little bit, but you know, he's a local young man, so he's here in the King Center every day, and our strength and conditioning staff have really bragged on Dylan how much stronger he's gotten over the last year.
Right. Emory and Henry playing some zone here with a lot of communication. Double team on the wing. Oh, man, Emory quit playing, waiting for a whistle.
Right.
I don't know why you wouldn't play zone, especially if you're going to play aggressive like that. The Owls have only taken 1 3 and made none, as opposed to the Wasp, who are now 6 of 13 from 3. We've had games where we didn't shoot that many or make that many. So, nice improvement for the Wasp at the end of the season. I don't know what else you do on that. Who's that foul on? Is it on Banks?
Yeah, that's
it's his second.
Micah Banks' second foul. It's going to be team foul number 4 for Emory and Henry. I don't know there was much else Banks could do there.
I asked Coach about, you know, that they played Tuesday night without Robert Holliday Jr. and, you know, what changes or how did the team adjust to that, step up, you know, compensate for his production. And he said that he thought that we were able to play a little more free-flowing and guys stepped up without him and played hard. He thinks that everyone got in there that really helped. He talked about Andrew Hensley, who doesn't get much playing time.
Oh, there, Tyler Arnold was wide open there on the baseline.
And speaking of Andrew Hensley, there he is scoring on that floater. He said he came in and guarded number 15, Day, their leading guy, you know, late in the first half, and was a real help. Look at him battling there.
Oh, good hustle. Good hustle by Catron there, diving for the ball.
So it's nice that Coach was pointing out about Andrew Hensley, who's getting some minutes here, and you can see by his effort and hustle, he's making a difference. Emory and Henry in this zone out of bounds, looking for opportunities to trap. Day misses, a rare miss by Day, although he's not as much of a three-point shooter as he is that little pull-up jumper that we've seen him take already. And there's Emory and Henry. Morgan, ooh, I thought that was almost an offensive foul there.
It's like night and day. Just the intensity the guys are playing with here in the last couple of nights. It's like they are finally starting to find their identity a little bit.
Well, I asked Coach about, their only senior is Holiday, and what did Tuesday night's game give him a preview, of next season without him, and he said he liked their effort and how they shared the ball. He said our energy was really high, like this.
Yeah,
and that we have to play with high energy to make up for our lack of size and height. He said rebounding and keeping the ball out of the middle are big struggles for us that we have to get better at, especially if we make the bump up to Division II and what's the name?
Cameron Ginn McKinney's in the game for Emory and Henry, number 22.
He's another one that's seen limited action this season. That's a shot clock violation by the Owls.
To get a shot clock violation, obviously you get the ball back, but it's a moral victory too.
Yeah, I love the shot clock violation and the 5-second out of bounds count are my two favorite plays. The 5-second out of bounds defense turnover is my favorite. Antonelli passing up a shot, looking for a better one. Oh man, that was great. Acrobatic catch and finish by Arnold, and a great pass by Antonelli. Like I said, he passed up his shot thinking there's going to be something better, and sure enough, good movement by Arnold attacking the back of the defense. It seems like the best shot they've had is that little floater at the rim as Davis connects for the Owls. That's 6 point for Davis.
Hensley getting into action over there.
Knocks down the 3, and that's 7 for Emory and Henry. If I'm maybe 6, I think they've updated it already. Antonelli getting a little greedy there with the reach. And the Owls answer with the 3 by Kaiser. Whoa, another one by Hensley.
The bench is wild over here.
Yeah, and that's what you love to see, is the bench going crazy, especially for those players who, everybody works hard on a team, not just the people who get to play, not just the people who get the numbers, who score, who, make the stat sheet. Everybody works hard at practice, and it's great to see their teammates excited for their, moment on the stage, for their moment on the court. That says a lot to me about a team when they do that. It says that they, do care about each other, that they do notice everyone on the team, not just the people who, make the scouting report.
Well, and we've talked about this before. It's unfortunate that it seems to be the way that sports has evolved, but so many players want to assess their value to the team based on the box score. And in fact, you have to have those players that are going to come in every day and put in work to help the team get better. Someone that comes to my mind is the reigning ACC Coach of the Year, Mike Young. When Mike Young was a point guard here at Emory and Henry, he saw limited minutes, but during all those historic NCAA runs, Eric Scott, such a talented point guard, Mike Young made Eric Scott better every day.
Yep.
And, I look at Mike now and just all the accolades that he's earned, so well-deserved, and his work ethic was evident from the time he was a student athlete here.
So Emory and Henry out of that timeout playing zone defense. The Owls can't get the ball inside. They haven't had really, other than the attacking the rim and Day, oh man, that was a great look by Antonelli, just a little bit long there. Oh, and a takeaway almost by Antonelli. Now Day's going to put it on the deck.
That's got to be a charge, yeah. There you go. Patrick Antonelli sacrificing his body for the team there.
Now see, that's always something I wanted to be a stat, taking a charge. It's something you could record easily. The official signals a charge, so why can't we have a stat for a charge? It's It's my favorite defensive play. And of course, I've said that already about the 5-second out of bounds count. But, with a live clock, take a charge.
That one went in and out for Arnold there.
I used to have a thing that if you took a charge, you were on the Papa John's team, which meant during exam week I was bringing pizza to you at the dorm. But still didn't entice too many people to take a charge. Uh-oh. I noticed during the timeout there where when the team went around the side of the bleachers for their huddle, that Robert Holliday Jr. sitting on the bench there with ice on his ankle. So I think we've seen the last of Robert here in tonight's action and the last of Robert in his career at Emory and Henry. We talked about it on Tuesday night's broadcast that Coach Thompson thinks Robert will have opportunities to play overseas, that he's looking into some of those opportunities, and we certainly wish him all the best in those. And Ketron knocks down the free throws. Ketron at 50% free throw shooter on the season. And we come to the end of first half action here. Emory and Henry with a commanding lead. And we'll let you go to halftime and come back and recap some stats before we begin the second half. Welcome back to basketball action on the campus of Emory and Henry College. We're here at Bob Johnson Court in the John Rutledge King Center. Having completed one 20-minute period of play here as the Emory and Henry Wasps have 20 more minutes left in their season. They're leading by 31 points over the visiting Owls. The Emory and Henry defeated them Tuesday night by a score of 96-77. Emory and Henry's well on their way to more than 96 points in this one, aren't they, Ann?
They certainly are, and I tell you, when you look at the stat line, obviously Emory and Henry shooting 23 of 37 for 62% for the game, so that's an incredible first half from the shooting perspective. But I think what stands out to me are the 10 turnovers by Warren Wilson. Emory and Henry playing some very aggressive defense, and that's led to 20 points off of those turnovers. So a good night on both ends of the floor for the first half for Emory and Henry.
Well, Warren Wilson shooting 46%. That's usually enough to do it.
Right.
But the Wasp on fire at 62%, as you said, and we're 8 of 15 for 3. That's got to be a season high for us. We had some games, I think, where we, didn't make a 3. Right. So, or maybe 1 of 15. So excellent shooting tonight. But as you say, the intensity of the Wasps have made a huge difference here. Also, a rebounding advantage, 21-10, 11 rebound margin for Emory and Henry.
The Wasp already have nine players in the scorebook for this game in the first half. We talked a little bit about Tuesday night's game. Patrick Antonelli having 11 assists in those games. He's already at 9 assists for the game tonight. 11, I think, will be definitely reached fairly early the way he's playing right now.
Warren Wilson for Tuesday night's game had at least 4 players. I can't find my second page to this. At least 4 players in double figures Tuesday night, and tonight Jerry Day has been quiet in the first half with only 6 points.
Yeah,
so,
if Warren Wilson's going to cut into this lead at all, Jerry Day has got to get into the action. I mean, he was the go-to guy for them on Tuesday night. So far, Emory and Henry's done a good job mixing up the defense and keeping Day somewhat railed in for this particular game. But, I look back, we've talked about it. Emory and Henry struggled during the ODAC season, and basketball hasn't looked anything like it normally does. But I give the team credit. It would be really easy for a team to say, look, the season hasn't been very successful. We're just going to call it quits and get ready for next year. But Emory and Henry's team has continued to work hard. And like I said, I think they struggled all year to find their identity. They're such a young squad. They really didn't have anybody that was going to step up and take charge to be that leader on the floor. But you're starting to see that identity evolve. And the aggressive defensive end, they're moving the ball better on the offensive end. They're playing together. Early in the season, you saw a lot of shots forced by folks trying to take it to the rim off the bounce when maybe it wasn't there. So I know Coach Thompson's got to be excited about the progress they've made here towards the end of the season.
Well, that's what he said when I asked him about their progress. He said other than their first game against Roanoke and their last game against Roanoke, we had a double-digit or close to it lead in all of them and just weren't able to close out any of them. And he said, I think Ferrum, WNL, Eastern Mennonite game showed our guys that when we play with great effort and efficiency, we can compete with anybody. He said, our team hasn't quit all year, even with another year of steep adversity, and I'm proud of how we battled. In Coach Thompson's first year here, we had some defections, people who transferred out of the program, and he had to make a lot of adjustments with personnel and but another challenging year, I think, is what he's saying. And it's nice to note how much he has noticed the improvements of his team and how well he's held them together in these challenges.
Well, there's such a misconception about the quality and level of play in Division III athletics. You find some extremely talented kids playing Division III basketball, and the ODAC is extremely strong league. Earlier in the season, Randolph-Macon was ranked number 1 in the country, so there's never an easy night in the ODAC.
So action returns here. Emory and Henry playing half-court man-to-man, it looks like. And Arnold's drawn the assignment of guarding Jerry Day. They're in the flex offense here. And that cut from the top when the ball goes to the wing in the flex offense is one of the options, is to just dive down the lane as Jackson did on that possession, but it came up an empty possession for the Owls. Ketron has nothing. Did he double dribble? Or did they hit it?
I think the defender touched it there.
Antonelli lights it up.
Antonelli said, I'll get in some of that three-point action.
We jinxed him the other night, so I'm not going to talk about it at all. Have not mentioned it at all. Well, we also have an advantage over Warren Wilson in that, we're on our 10th game of the season. And there's a three-pointer by Jackson. I think that's Jackson. Or Davis. I can't see his other number. We've had a season, shortened as it is, under our belt. That's the shot for Ketron. Nice follow.
And an offensive foul.
But, the Owls are just getting started here. I assume they will get to make some progress through the course of their season as we have, albeit abbreviated season.
This year's been kind of like a travel ball season. If Team A doesn't show up on the court, you just find somebody else to play.
Yeah, I think that's been interesting how it's been like, a junior high, middle school coach just calling around saying who's got an opening.
It's almost been like sharks in the water. If a team has to cancel because of a temporary shutdown, everybody starts calling the opponent, trying to fill that spot in the schedule.
Like we need to have like a transfer portal. We're looking for a game. Well, they used to list that stuff on D3 Hoops. You got a tournament, who needs somebody. Day can't do anything with it. But Ledbetter knocks it down. Ledbetter averages 14.5 points a game, 56% from the field so far this season. Nice effort by Banks, but it goes off of him, out of bounds.
So Emory and Henry back on the defensive end now.
With almost a 30-point lead. Arnold goes for it. Day can't get anywhere with it.
Nice backdoor cut.
Yeah, nice cut, can't finish. Emory and Henry battles and comes away with the rebound. And nice effort by Ketron to follow instead of watch. So many people just watching to see what's going to happen. Oh gosh, how many steps did he take? The Owls playing man-to-man defense here.
That's going to be a foul on Antonelli.
It's not really his fault either. I don't think. Morgan created the mess. Antonelli was left trying to clean it up.
So we have a platoon of substitutions here for Emory and Henry coming in the game. Micah Banks will be the only one that remains on the floor. Emory and Henry came out of the locker room a little flat. I think Coach Thompson's trying to make a statement.
Emory and Henry playing man-to-man. Oh, man, got a little lost on that flex screen at the baseline, but the pass was strong enough that it bounced off Warren Wilson player and out of bounds to Emory and Henry. Coach Thompson came over to us at halftime to let us know that Robert Holliday Jr. is injured and won't be able to return to action for tonight.
Yeah, certainly not.
Oh, man, nice move by Hensley.
Yeah, strong move to the basket. Certainly not the way Holiday wanted to end his college career.
Hensley, 15, played at Gate City on all those championship teams with all those D1 players. It's been
Banks is just smothering Day down there on the defensive end.
And Bell gets that floater to fall in. Oh, nice move through the middle there. Oh, and he fell. Still Euro stepping and fell after the shot is Rodriguez. There's Day. That's as they say on Tennessee broadcast to Burt Bertelkamp, money! I can't stand that. Even as a Tennessee grad. Ooh. 10 on the shot clock. McKinney looks to get it in. Nice floater, too strong. Keene, nice effort.
Good hustle by Keene there.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Good body control, too, by Banks to go straight up there and not fall into the defender there for the charge. Coach Thompson not happy with something here. Let's talk a little bit about former players for Emory and Henry. Casey Johnson, former men's basketball player, the head coach of Alta Vista boys basketball, was named the Class 1 Region B Coach of the Year. His team played for the Virginia High School League state championship game in his second year at Alta Vista. Casey Johnson, the son of legendary Emory and Henry coach Bob Johnson. Also a couple of Emory and Henry connections playing in the were playing in the Patriot League semifinals. Jimmy Allen is the head coach at Army at West Point. He's an Emory and Henry alum and also a former assistant of Coach Johnson, as well as Nathan Davis. He's a former Emory and Henry assistant who's the head coach at Bucknell. So a couple of weeks ago, David St. Clair's Emory and Henry in sport history moment for halftime was about the Bob Johnson coaching tree, and there's 3 of them right there. And you've already mentioned Coach Mike Young.
Well, you've got Jamie and Christian, who's the head coach at George Washington that was an assistant here for a while, and then Jarrell Christian is an assistant with the Washington Wizards.
Right.
Who played here for a while.
And John Kaufman, where is John? Gosh, I could go on and on. I've lived through most of them. Coach Thompson during that timeout was imploring his team for a little more intensity and effort, especially on the defensive end. Wow, Day almost knocked that one down as we almost knocked him down.
So Warren Wilson cutting into the lead a little bit here with 14:33 left in the game. Again, Coach Thompson not happy with the effort of his team right now.
And Day, not surprisingly, knocks down the free throw. He's a 77% free throw shooter on this season. And both of them fall for the sophomore from Valdez, North Carolina. Keene on the step out. Good to see Hensley streaking in there for offensive rebounding effort. And that's Davis off the glass for the Owls.
The lead now for Emory and Henry, 25. Emory and Henry needed that one.
Banks knocks it in for the Wasps. Emory and Henry's largest lead has been 34.
So that was DeMarco Jackson making a good, strong move to the basket there.
Looks like Rodriguez is limping over here on the right-hand side of the floor.
He fell hard a couple of possessions ago. Good
Oh,
tag.
nice move by Hensley. You don't have to know anything about a player if you know the high school program they came from, and coming from Gate City, you know he was well coached, and you know he had great competition in practice, and you probably know he's fundamentally sound.
Well, and when you see him, he doesn't look like he's going to be the fastest or the strongest guy on the court, but he's proven he can play at this level and doing a nice job tonight.
So on the floor now for Emory and Henry, number 5, Antonelli, 10, Keene, 4, Morgan, and 3, Rodriguez, and Arnold's getting ready to check in.
Flex action again.
Oh, I thought that was a walk. I guess he got sort of sandwiched between two players. A lot of times the player that's guarding that offensive player has a good legal guarding position, and their teammate that doubles on them forces you to foul them or forces them to come into you, and you get called for the foul when you were in the right position to begin with. Oh, nice block by Arnold. But good second effort by I think that's Davis. That's 5 team fouls on Emory and Henry with 12:47 remaining.
That's the last thing Coach Thompson wants right now, to have 12 minutes left in the game and
start shooting free throws.
Start shooting free throws to score with the clock stopped. So shooting at the line, number 10, Brent Davis. Unable to finish the old-fashioned three-point
That
play
makes
there.
Davis 0 of 6 on the year from the free throw line. And now they're coming with this full court pressure that they played the other night. And as Coach Thompson said, that he expected more of this in the game. I'm really surprised it's waited this long. Emory and Henry did not speed up and did not turn the ball over against the full court pressure. There's 15 on the shot clock now. And we mentioned during the game Tuesday night that Emory and Henry's offense against that full court pressure was deliberate, and that's exactly what you want. They took their time. They made short passes. They were precise. There you go. Keene with the face up is going to come in short.
Nice rebound.
Oh, nice move and rebound, and drawing the foul is Malcolm Morgan. So I'm surprised we have not seen that full court pressure. Coach suspected that we would see more of it in an attempt to speed them up. Nice shot by Morgan for the three-point play. He's shooting 67% from the line this season.
Warren Wilson's sticking with flex there. Step through.
Here comes Emory and Henry in transition, finds Antonelli.
It's a good backdoor cut by Morgan, just wasn't able to see him there.
Good to see Rodriguez back out there after he looked like he'd come up just a little bit lame. 9 on the shot clock. Antonelli trying to get inside, kicks it over to Arnold. Oh, he walked.
Ooh.
He walked.
Ah.
The official was watching, I think, the line and the action, and he changed feet. He was on one foot, changed feet. He was on one foot, switched to the other foot. The official, I think, was just watching where the ball was going to come in bounds. I'm sorry you couldn't see me on the camera as I was pantomiming that action.
Ball goes to Emory and Henry. Keene again with the good hustle over there.
Well, if we told you that Warren Wilson was shooting 50% and Emory and Henry was shooting 57%, you would think it would be a closer game than this. But Emory and Henry, 10 made threes, and Warren Wilson's turnovers, and Emory and Henry's 8 rebound advantage probably explains the almost 30-point advantage Emory and Henry had. Emory and Henry now with 17 assists on 30 made field goals.
Oh, good rebound.
Oh, great effort by Arnold.
Yeah, he was able just to sneak in there. Warren Wilson just kind of watching the ball.
He's such a solid player.
Oh, he really is. I think he's been a good, he's a transfer from Walter State Community College, and that's been a good pickup for Coach Wilson.
Oh, nice defensive play by Keene there not to foul, and his presence was just enough. Ooh, as Keene hangs on the rim to prevent landing on somebody. So Antonelli will go to the free throw line. Don't forget about WEHC 90.7, your college and community station. Antonelli connects on that one. Having their annual fundraiser. You can go online to WEHCFM.com to make a gift, or you can call them at 276-582-0907. You know, they do so much for athletics. So if you are an Emory and Henry fan, help support WEHC. And Antonelli's good on the second one as well. We're at 80 points for the Wasps with 10 minutes left to play in the game. You can hear Emory and Henry's defense communicating on all these cross screens, down screens. And the Owls turn it over, trying to kick it out from the low block.
A little frustration there by Warren Wilson.
So Emory and Henry now at 80 points with 5 people in double figures. The Owls, on the other hand, have Davis with 10 and Day with 10. Looks like Emory and Henry running almost a little flex screen there. I thought he walked.
Emory and Henry's ball there.
So let's talk about some accolades from this week. If you didn't tune in on Tuesday night, we'll let you know that 3 Emory and Henry athletes were named ODAC Players of the Week. Alex Braun from softball. Softball's having a great season, started out 8-0 at this point. She's first in the conference in batting and on-base percentage, slugging, hits, doubles, home runs, RBIs. Third in pitching with 4 wins and 29 strikeouts, and 5th in the conference for her ERA is at 2.04. So Alex Braun, softball player of the week. And then Donovan Penix, was the football defensive player of the week. There comes Day.
Now we have another timeout on the floor. Warren Wilson calls a full timeout.
So Donovan Penix was the ODAC football defensive player of the week. He's a junior defensive back. This is the second straight week that someone from Emory and Henry's received this football player of the week. He's a four-sport athlete at Emory and Henry. You said, let's see, wrestles, football, indoor-outdoor track. Emory and Henry won the game 47-14. He led the team in tackles with 15, tackles for loss with 4.5, 4 sacks, and forced a fumble. And the fumble he forced ended up leading to a score, which at the point that happened, the score was 14-7 for the longest time. It didn't look like it was going to end up to be a 47-14 game, and Emory and Henry was able to score a touchdown and get a little bit more of a cushion there.
This is a big game for Emory and Henry. They'll take on the Quakers of Guilford College. Another win by Coach Newsom and his squad will put them in the championship game. So it's a big game for Emory and Henry football.
And that'll be Friday at 2 o'clock. You can listen to it on WEHC. You can also on all the streaming opportunities at GoWasp.com, Facebook Live, that's the Emory and Henry Athletics Facebook Live, or the Emory and Henry College YouTube channel. So that's 2 o'clock on Friday. At halftime, be sure and stay tuned for David St. Clair will be bringing you Emory and Henry in Sports History segment. This week's segment is on the Emory and Henry play. If you know anything about Emory and Henry football legend and folklore, the Emory and Henry play, made nationally known more so by Steve Spurrier. So tune in to hear David St. Clair tell us a little more about that. Here's this full court pressure we expected to have more of early on. And again, Emory and Henry very deliberate with their attack, good passing, good spacing, good communication. The only thing it really did against that happened to us against it the other night was, we maybe took 9 seconds to get the ball across, but we were still, it didn't speed us up, it didn't hurry us up, it didn't force us into mistakes, as I'm sure the Owls had hoped. That was a nice cut and finish by Arnold. And that's
nice backdoor cut.
Nice, exactly. And good kick out. He's underneath the basket. Oh, that's just great fundamental basketball. Oh, yeah, Antonelli with the stick back draws the foul. That's just give and go. There's you're drawing the defense to the ball down low. You cut past it and catch your man napping there and take it to the rim.
So Antonelli at the line shooting 2.
And makes the second. Nice defensive stand there by the Wasson side, not to foul.
Nice 3-on-2.
In transition, oh yeah, nice reverse layup by Antonelli in transition.
That's textbook there, 3-on-2.
I know a little something about being inside against people a lot taller than you. Ooh, nice kick out. Arnold for 3 on the way.
Arnold usually, that's his money spot usually.
Oh, Antonelli almost caused the turnover. Emory and Henry. This is the kind of game I think, see what you think, Ann. This is the kind of game where you have to be careful it doesn't just turn into a, recreation league.
Yeah,
type play.
And you never get comfortable with the lead. It's an opportunity to get better and to work on things.
Antonelli, nice fundamentally sound there, and nice knockdown by Banks.
That's Emory Henry's 11th three of the game.
I wish I had researched this. I had no idea we would have this, but I don't think we've had any game anywhere close to that many threes. We've had some games I'm not sure we made that many twos. Nice look by Antonelli to see that nobody was there to cut him off from going straight to the rim.
So now in the game for Warren Wilson, number 21, Turner Bailey returns back to the action. So Emory Henry sends everyone back.
And Antonelli makes a pair.
So Wasp sticking with that man-to-man. Got another timeout. Yeah, lots of upcoming action here at Emory and Henry. We already mentioned the football game that will be here on our campus tomorrow at 2 o'clock. But this weekend, lots of different games going on. Softball, our women's softball team that Coach mentioned is off to an 8-0 start. Host a 4-team invitational this weekend. Transylvania, Christopher Newport will be on our campus this weekend, and for a softball game starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Baseball travels to Bridgewater for their season opener. It's a doubleheader with first pitch scheduled to be thrown at noon. Women's tennis will be at home on Saturday at 1 p.m. Against WNL, and then again on Sunday versus Hollins. Both matches start at 1 p.m. Our men's tennis team will travel to Hampton-Sydney on Sunday for their ODAC matchup that begins at 1. Men's soccer was scheduled to play WNL at home on Saturday, but that game has now been canceled. Volleyball will have their season opener next Thursday at 7 p.m.
You know how you can tell when baseball is going to have their home game or any game? You know how you can tell? You don't even need a schedule. You just need the Weather Channel. When it starts to rain, baseball is supposed to be having a game.
It has seemed like that.
I always give Coach McCall a hard time. We have a beautiful sunny day, and I'll be like, yeah, we're not playing today, are we?
No, I used to tell him it never snowed till he got the bats out.
Yeah,
that's when
exactly.
We were
That's
get the
exactly
blizzard.
when I always say about Southwest Virginia, you need spring-colored winter clothing because it's going to be cold until April or May. Heck, we've had some graduations outside in May where I had on a coat, underneath my academic regalia.
So Emory Henry in the zone now.
Yeah, he's been doing this on the sideline out of bounds.
Somebody lost DeMarco Jackson just hanging out down there in the short corner. That's Antonelli's third foul of the game. Emory Henry's sixth team foul. The Owls will be shooting 1-1 on the next foul.
We had one more ODAC athlete of the week, and that was in outdoor track and field. Well, actually, in the field events, Ed Rayner was the first time in program history that an Emory and Henry track and field athlete has won the ODAC honors for the week. He set a school record in the discus, also, and won that event. Also won the shot put, was second in the hammer throw. The track and field team will be in action again in April the 2nd at Eastern Mennonite at a meet there.
So the press ineffective for the Owls here.
Emory and Henry again deliberate.
Good kick out there by Antonelli to find Morgan for the 3. That should be Antonelli's 10th assist for the game.
Oh yeah, nice take. Yep, that's 10 assists for Antonelli, 13 points. Another double-double. And he needs one more rebound to have a triple-double. Don't take him out, Coach.
So number 22, Cameron Ginn McKinney will check in for Micah Banks. That shot by Morgan is good. Putting Morgan at 16 points for the night.
Again, McKinney is a transfer from Westmoreland County Community College. He's from Dothan, Alabama. I heard growling from the coaches on that play, didn't you?
I did too.
Oh, golly. And Hensley hits the deck hard.
He just bounces up.
He's just a young pup.
He's going to come back in the game for Catron.
So Emory and Henry will have, with the loss of Robert Holliday Jr., they'll have 3 seniors next year in Arnold, Micah Banks, and Ginn McKinney. Catron will be a junior. Morgan will be a junior. Rodriguez a junior. Man, still young. That's great.
Yeah.
And as I said in the broadcast the other day, and McKinney knocks those down, Coach is going to announce some recruiting commitments. I think he said stay tuned, probably in April they would announce those signings. I know some other teams, if you pay attention on social media, have already, nice acrobatic score by Whiteside, have already announced some of their commitments for the upcoming, or for next, the 2021-22 classes. But Coach says they'll probably do theirs mostly at the same time.
Yeah. You know, recruiting is taking on such a different look this year under COVID protocols. You know, particularly in basketball, there's these massive travel team tournaments. You know, with 60 or 70 courts going at one time. And coaches have not been able to attend those events in the summertime like they normally would. So recruiting looking a little bit like the old days where you're watching high school teams play, except you're doing it virtually.
I would like that part about the not traveling to all those places to do it.
I tell you, you know, I think you're going to see a lot of things change in athletics as we hopefully transition out of COVID and return to some form of normal.
I think you'll see a lot of things change, period. You know, just like, for example, our Lyceum program here at school, you know, we can get speakers to come to be a speaker on Zoom that we could never have, you know, paid their travel expenses to have them come here to campus. So a lot of things will change. I don't know that Keene, I didn't expect that handoff. Here goes McKinney. Oh,
nice
nice dump down low to Keene. Keene battles for it, puts it up again, gets it blocked, puts it up again. There you go.
Got to stick with it. Keene thinking he got fouled down there.
He just looks so strong to me, his upper body, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And I think all he's going to need is just a little more experience. That foul's going to be on Ginn McKinney. It's going to send.
That's a 7th team foul for the Wasps. So in the last 3:36 will be shooting. We had a football player here that played basketball a couple of years, Chris Barber. I can't remember if Chris was a defensive end, but you put him on the basketball court, and it was just like that body was so strong. Well, I was coaching high school in Chattanooga when, I don't know if you know who Reggie White was. Mm-hmm. He was a high school player.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, he was a high school, obviously a football player, but he was a high school basketball player. And I thought some regular-sized high school boy is going to be seriously injured by just accidentally running into him on the court. I believe he went to Howard High School in Chattanooga. I believe they won the state championship or close to it, and not on his merits. But, gosh, what a body. Emory and Henry still deliberate running in their offense. Oh man, what a great opportunity! I mean, what a great job making an opportunity for himself. Antonelli's trying to plead that it hit the rim. I'm not sure it did. Again, if you saw that Warren Wilson was shooting 47% and Emory and Henry 56%, you would say it's a lot closer game than what it is. But Emory and Henry's connected on 12 threes. The Owls with just 2, and Emory and Henry's gotten 14 points from the free throw line. The Owls with only 8. And Emory and Henry's cashed in of the 15 rebounds by Warren Wilson for 25 points. Oh, all you can hear is little feet running down the court. It's so quiet in here. An occasional coach yelling. Or as we should say, barking out instructions. Keene for 3. And the big guy knocks it down.
I would have to think if you were official, though, in some strange way.
Oh, you're loving this season. You love this. That's a deep 3 for the Owls. As Whiteside drains that one. Keene's feeling it again. Oh, almost got the repeat.
Good hustle. Good
again,
hustle.
McKinney comes up with the rebound just on effort. Well, when you're 5'10", oh yeah.
The bank's open down there in the corner.
And I think the 5'10" may be just on Ginn McKinney's. It could just be on the fact that his hair sticks up a little bit. I'd have to have hair like his to make it to 5'4", so. So Coach Thompson instructing his team as we break the 100-point mark for the first time this season. It looks like we're headed for our second win of the season. Ginn McKinney kicks it out.
Good
that's
rotation.
Not Ginn McKinney, that was Morgan. And Ginn McKinney knocks it down. Play all the way through the game is what Coach is hoping will happen.
Emory and Henry taking their time now.
We're under a minute to play here. Actually, almost 35 seconds remaining. Well, you can see it on the... And Antonelli drains the 3. That gives Antonelli the triple-double on the night. What's this all about? Oh, we're getting a sub in. That's Goodine returning to the lineup for the Owls.
So again, Emory and Henry with 10 players scoring tonight. a good team effort all the way around.
Emory and Henry still giving a great defensive effort here, despite the fact that the score is not in question. Seven seconds remaining. We got to get it across the half-court line, and Antonelli passes ahead to Morgan, and that will end the contest and end the season for Emory and Henry, who finished the season at 2-8. But won these last two games against Warren Wilson. Tonight's final score, 109-66.
And, you know, those scores are really misleading because Warren Wilson's not a bad team.
No, they're not a bad team.
They're not a bad team at all. I mean, any coach will tell you there's a big difference in game 10 of the year versus game 2 or 3. But I think Warren Wilson's going to have some success. And, again, we've talked about it all along. Emory and Henry just now really starting to find their groove. I think Coach Thompson would love to have some of those early games back like you would in a normal season.
Well, I think he'd love to have about 2 or 4 more games he could tack on now. You know, when you think about playing 10 games in a season when you normally play, you play 24 regular season games and hope for a tournament, at least one tournament game, if not more. You know, this abbreviated less than half season, you'd love to just have time to keep working with your players.
All right. So let's run down a few stats here for the end of the game. Emory and Henry were 40 of 69 for the field with 58%, 15 of 28 from behind the arc at 53.6%. They were 14 of 20, shooting 70% from the free throw line, 8 turnovers with 43 rebounds, 23 assists of those baskets that we talked about. 23 out of the 40 baskets came off assists, 5 blocks, 5 steals, and 52 bench points, which I think Coach Thompson has to be very excited about.
Well, and a great opportunity to let some of those players get some playing time and play with some of the players who do get more playing time. You know, that's one of the best ways to get better is to play with, play against good players, but also play with good players when you're out there on the court. I know in one of the women's basketball final games, Coach Dickens sent out 4 of the younger players, but kept her senior Josie Salyer out there to play with them. And I thought that's great to give them the experience to play with somebody that will help them feel comfortable and confident.
Absolutely. And we usually end the broadcast with a player of the game. So, Coach, who are you going to go with tonight?
You got to go with the triple-double.
Absolutely. You got to go. You know, I was a big man in college, but I got to show some love to my point guard there with Patrick Antonelli finishing the night with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 4 of 7 from the field. So congratulations to Patrick Antonelli for being tonight's player of the game.
Yeah, Emory and Henry finished up, I don't know if you said this, 6 players in double figures, and then Keene with 9 and Ketron with 8. So, we weren't far off having 8 players, 8 players in double figures.
Yeah.
Just a great all-around contribution by all the players who took the court tonight.
All right. Keene finished the night with 9 rebounds to go with those 9 points. So, again, another good night at the King Center. It's sad to see basketball season over, but I think Coach Thompson's got some positives to build on for next year. I know recruiting's going very well for him. And we sadly say goodbye to Robert Holliday Jr. We wish him the best as he transitions to his next stop.
So before we sign out, let me say again, don't forget about supporting WEHC 90.7, your college and community station. Not just the athletic program, all kinds of local programming that you're just not going to get anywhere else. You can make a gift to them by going online at WEHCFM.com and find the Make a Gift tab or button or something. And also you could call 276-582-0907. Tell them that Emory and Henry Athletics sent you when you make your donation there. And you don't have to make it in honor of me or anything. Just call and make a donation to WEHC. Well, on behalf of Ann Crutchfield, and I'd like to say that it's been our enjoyment, our privilege, our pleasure to be one of the very few live bodies allowed in the King Center. We had a whole lot of cutout bodies, but we didn't have any living, breathing bodies in here this year. And we know that having WEHC and having the live stream available meant more than ever this year to help keep everybody connected to Emory and Henry Athletics. So thank you for supporting it, and we look for a day when we'll all be back in here together, that we won't be the only ones who question whether that we thought that was a good call by the officials, and the only ones who bring some energy. It's not just the players on the bench. So I'd also like to thank, you usually do this, Coach, but I'd like to thank the people from the athletic department who do all the work here. You can see them setting up the chairs and sanitizing the chairs and the equipment around here, and also to Brent Treesh and Joe Matthews and their group, Peyton Brooks, and people who make all this happen here. Even though that you're not here to see it, it's still going on. The magic is still happening here in the King Center. So on behalf of Ann Crutchfield, I'm Joy Scruggs saying thank you for your support of Emory and Henry Athletics, and so long until next season. From the Bob Johnson Court and the John Rutledge King Center on the campus of Emory and Henry College, we'll say, go Wasps.